Imagine if one of the most shocking twists in Marvel history never happened. At the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, Mysterio exposed Peter Parker's identity to the entire world. But what if that reveal never took place? Turning his life upside down and leading directly into the events of No Way Home. What if Peter's greatest secret had stayed safe, hidden from the eyes of the world? Today, we'll explore a timeline where Spider-Man's mask remains intact, and the Marvel Universe takes a completely different turn. Stay with us till the end, and don't forget to subscribe for more Marvel what-if scenarios that rewrite everything you thought you knew. 1. A normal life preserved. Without his identity revealed, Peter would return to New York after Europe with a sense of normalcy. He could continue high school without the FBI, media, and enemies breathing down his neck. MJ and Ned would remain his closest allies, supporting him from the shadows rather than being dragged into the chaos. Peter's double life would still be stressful, but not catastrophic. The burden of being the exposed Avenger wouldn't crush him so young. Instead, he'd balance homework, love, and heroism with fewer public battles. This preservation of privacy would delay the loss of innocence. Spider-Man would remain a friendly neighborhood hero, not a fugitive of the state. For Peter, life would feel heavy, but still his own. 2. The Avengers' trust maintained. After Endgame, Peter was positioned to carry Tony Stark's legacy. With his identity secret, that trust wouldn't be shaken by controversy. The world wouldn't question why a teenager had access to Stark's tech. Instead, Peter could continue to earn respect quietly, proving himself as a worthy successor. Fury and Happy Hogan would treat him with more stability, not constant crisis management. His role in future Avengers missions would grow naturally. By keeping his name hidden, Peter would avoid the political backlash that could fracture the team's unity. The Avengers would look to him as a promising hero, not a liability. 3. MJ and Ned's safety. Mysterio's reveal didn't just endanger Peter, it endangered everyone he loved. Without it, MJ and Ned would live safer, calmer lives. They would still know his secret, but only as trusted confidants. No interrogations, no helicopters hovering outside their homes, no death threats. Their bond with Peter would grow without fear consuming it. MJ could encourage Peter's growth instead of enduring constant peril. Ned could remain the supportive guy in the chair without being treated as a criminal. This protection would allow their friendships to flourish, grounded in loyalty rather than trauma. 4. A villain in the shadows. If Mysterio hadn't revealed Peter's identity, he could remain a hidden threat. His so-called death might not end his story, but only delay it. From the shadows, his illusions could manipulate events, perhaps even joining forces with future villains like the Vulture or Scorpion. Without the identity reveal, Mysterio's legacy would shift from exposer to puppet master. Peter would face more challenges in uncovering the truth about Quentin Beck. This would make their rivalry far more psychological than public. The danger would grow in silence, making Mysterio a ticking time bomb for Spider-Man's future. His return would keep Peter constantly second-guessing reality itself. Every battle could turn into a mind game rather than a fight. Spider-Man's greatest challenge might not be strength, but knowing what's real and what's illusion. 5. No multiverse catastrophe. The identity reveal directly pushed Peter to Doctor Strange's door in No Way Home. Without that pressure, Peter would never ask Strange to cast the forgetting spell. That means no botched magic, no villains from across the multiverse, and no fractured timeline. The return of Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro would never happen. Peter's universe would remain intact, unshaken by multiverse chaos. The multiverse arc might still arrive later, but in a completely different way. Peter's life would not become the spark for universal collapse. Instead, the story of the multiverse might have been slower, steadier, and less destructive. 6. Aunt May's survival. Perhaps the most heartbreaking consequence of the identity reveal was Aunt May's death at the hands of the Green Goblin. Without Mysterio exposing Peter, May would never cross paths with those multiverse villains. She would continue being Peter's moral compass, guiding him as both a parent and a friend. Her influence would shape Peter into a wiser hero without the devastating cost of her loss. May's survival would give Peter the strength to fight with hope rather than guilt. In this alternate world, with great power comes great responsibility, would be a living lesson, not a final goodbye. 7. Spider-Man and the Law. When Mysterio framed Peter, the law turned against him. Police, courts, and agencies saw him as a criminal. Without the reveal, Spider-Man's relationship with the law would remain ambiguous but not hostile. He'd still face skepticism but not outright prosecution. This means no legal battles, no Daredevil cameo, and no time spent proving his innocence. Instead, Peter could operate in the shadows, free to fight crime without handcuffs waiting around the corner. His heroics would stay focused on villains, not courtrooms. The line between Peter Parker and Spider-Man would remain blurred, not destroyed. 8. The future of Young Avengers. Peter's exposed identity caused him to withdraw from larger teams, but secrecy would allow him to be more present. The Young Avengers, a team teased in the MCU's future, could count Peter as one of their leaders. His experience, intelligence, and mentorship potential would thrive without scandal dragging him down. Alongside heroes like Kate Bishop and America Chavez, Peter would help shape the next generation. His story wouldn't just be about survival, it would be about leadership. The MCU would gain a Spider-Man who could stand tall among peers rather than fight alone in exile. 9. The weight of responsibility. Even without the reveal, Peter's life wouldn't be easy. The weight of dual identity would still press on him. The secrecy might preserve his relationships, but it would also isolate him. He'd struggle with lies, half-truths, and the burden of responsibility. Every choice would still test his heart. However, this pressure would feel more human than catastrophic. It would be the Spider-Man story at its core, a young man juggling life and heroism. The difference is that in this timeline, the balance could be maintained without complete collapse. 10. A different legacy. If Mysterio never revealed Peter's identity, Spider-Man's legacy would evolve in silence. He would grow into a symbol of resilience, a protector who served without needing the world to know the boy behind the mask. Fans in this universe would never see him stripped bare of privacy and identity. Instead, his journey would be one of gradual growth, where sacrifice didn't mean losing everything at once. His future would remain open, his friendships intact, and his place in the MCU unbroken. Spider-Man would still be the heart of Marvel, but in a gentler, less tragic way. And that's how the Marvel Universe changes if Mysterio never revealed Spider-Man's identity. Peter Parker would still face challenges, but his world would not crumble under public scrutiny, legal chaos, and multiverse destruction. Aunt May would survive, friendships would thrive, and the Avengers would gain a stronger ally for the future. It's a timeline where Spider-Man's story becomes less about tragedy and more about growth. If you enjoyed this journey into an alternate Marvel reality, make sure to subscribe for more what-if scenarios that reimagine your favorite heroes in ways you've never imagined.